You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments. Ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR. Practice management simplified. The Chiro Speaking Company. Attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 747 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Mark White, the founder of OmniWave. And if you want to hear our conversation about saving people from drugs and surgery with life-changing technology, stay tuned for the full episode.
Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle podcast. They have Mark White on with me today. His company's called OmniWave, and we'll share some resources about how to get in touch with him as the podcast comes to a close. But before we get into this episode, I want to let you know our big why. Why do we do what we do over here at Chiro Hustle? Well, first things first is we believe in freedom of speech. I think that's essential to the narrative that we all believe in, that we can share stories. And we can share the method of podcasting here today. We also believe in medical freedom and family health freedom. They're not the same things, but if you need advice on that, find a chiropractor in your neck of the woods. Also, we protect BJ Palmer's Sacred Trust. It's his last words. If you don't know what that is, go to the show notes and check it out. You're going to learn more about chiropractic than you did previously, I guarantee you. And philosophically speaking, I know that they're taking some of the lexicon and the vernacular out of the colleges. So we do support the philosophy of chiropractic. And one of those big words that we really believe in supporting is subluxation. So we do support subluxation-based chiropractic. We do believe in educated intelligence, universal intelligence, and the innate intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical, gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual, which creates the educated intelligence. And with that, Mark White, you're episode 748. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, James. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so Mark and his company jumped in and said, hey, we'll sponsor the show. So this is a sponsorship episode of the Chiro Hustle podcast. And we're going to talk all things tech and healing. And there's a lot that he has on the table today he wants to discuss. But we're going to open up with how chiros can benefit from technology with this life-changing company that he started. So talk us a little bit about the tech behind what you're doing over there at OmniWave.
Sure. So OmniWave essentially is the next generation of shockwave therapy. Shockwave therapy, some chiros have heard of it, some haven't. Sometimes I'll talk to a chiro and he's like, yeah, I have a shockwave device that he'll pull out what's known as a radial device. But what we did is we created the first shockwave device that does not cause pain and helps people regenerate cell tissue in less than 3 minutes and start bringing in blood flow.
So you said doesn't cause pain. How does it feel when people are getting the treatment?
It's actually been described as soothing or comfortable, and it's funny because people before, when they've associated shock waves, they're always like, that's painful, that it hurts. And if you've tried old-fashioned obsolete shockwave devices, they do sting a little. But this one, we have some proprietary technology in there that actually makes it comfortable and soothing.
Yeah, I know that the whole industry started from something called lithotripsy.
Mm-hmm.
And lithotripsy was the technology that you'd go to the hospital for, and they would use to break up your kidney stones.
Yeah, that's correct. It's actually, they came up with the technology during World War II, and they used to drop the they would drop the depth charges. The depth charges would blow up the submarines. Those were sound waves in water. So lithotripsy was using a spark gap in water. And that's the same technology we use. That's that pure form of shockwave.
And I can't take the conversations too much further without talking about how this can help people build revenue at their practice. Because what I believe for chiropractic is the method is get them to stay, get them to pay, and get them to refer. But you have to get results. So talk to us about how the OmniWave system can help generate revenue for a practice.
Sure, and I think that's why it's such a good fit for chiropractors, because you could build your own business with this. But what we've seen is with OmniWave, you can do a demo on a patient. Because our machine's portable, you can take it out to where your patients are and get patients in a box and actually do demos and then get them in. Because when you do a demo, they feel immediate results, and then they're going to book with you. And then you're going to provide them a series of treatments. You're going to provide them with everything else you do healing wise, whether it's knee decompression or whether it's adjustments, but you're going to bundle that. But we have a proven system because you can get other devices, you can get our device, but what makes devices good is not just the technology. And by the way, our technology is the only technology that's built here in the United States. Other technology either comes from China or from Turkey or from other countries, but we build this here in the US. But the other thing that we do is we make sure everybody's certified. Just like you went to chiropractic school to know how to adjust the body, you have to be certified and take a 2-day course with us before we want you to use the device. And a lot of other people will just buy a device from who knows where and who knows who will be doing the device. But the third thing that we do that's super important is we provide patient education, because people don't understand this technology and they think it's magic. So we educate patients at a consumer-facing website called GAINSWave. And we match educated patients with certified providers that are using the best technology.
So public education, letting people know what it is and how it works, that seems to be an effective way to bridge the gap between confusion and people stepping forward and using the tech.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're creating a supersonic sound wave. So we're talking about a sound wave that breaks the barrier of sound, and that creates pressure in the body, and it tricks your body into an immediate anti-inflammatory response. We're creating a little bit of micro trauma, and then we create cavitation at the cellular level. And what happens is your body is flooded with stem cells and growth factors. So think of it as non-invasive regenerative therapy.
And I know a little bit about the tech involved. So what happens is I call it the entourage effect, is when you said the cavitation happens and the effect starts to heal the damaged tissue. The stem cells come in and they help regenerate that area and make the body just go into a healing state much quicker than with just the adjustment or just the setting of like a knee or an ankle.
Yeah, no, that's correct. And you see it when you know where to hit the body. And what I'm seeing with chiropractors that it really amazed me is that they get much better results when it comes to musculoskeletal than MDs or DOs, because they understand the body. I mean, the MDs get good results once they're trained, but I've seen chiros, like I've had chiros come to our certification program and they just kind of take it over. It's like a kid in the candy store there. They get just so jacked up that they can heal the body instantly.
Well, I think, everybody out there wants to get people better faster. And there's, really no money in healthy people. So this is a really cool way to get people healthy and build revenue at the same time, which I think a lot of times, there's always that thing, what can I do to help more people? And you said that this is a great way to do lead gen and to give demos to people too.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think it's the only thing I've seen where you could go out and go fishing for the types of clients you're trying to attract. Also, if you have an existing client base, I've seen practice owners put this in their practice and literally do $46,000 their first 2 days. And that the person I'm thinking of, she's a chiropractor in Idaho.
And how did she make that happen? Like, what was her method? How did she get people to come in 2 days for that type of a revenue jump?
So it's very important you build packages around it. I think, and chiros that really understand business do very well with it. But you don't want to charge by the treatment. You want to charge by the package, because when you get that person in and they do that demo session and they understand what's happening, and you can tell them that, hey, I can fix your knee that you've had a problem with for 5 years, and you can now put off that knee surgery that your ortho was telling you about. That person will pay you $3,600 for a series of treatments. But what she did is she sent out texts telling them about the technology. And then we have what's called a launch day, where we helped her with scripts, and we helped her convert those people coming in and setting up the packages. But the secret is to set up packages for the patient. So when you do that free treatment, we have a whole methodology to get them to purchase a package. And it's really important that they know how to do it.
So do you guys do anything with email marketing and help do a retargeting campaign to patients that are inside their database to help spark interest in what's going on at the clinic with the OmniWave?
So we provide them with different emails that they can use, that they can get, but we don't build out their marketing. We have created something called we have created a CRM for them when they're doing demos to get them in on a special offer. So it really is a turnkey when you're going out. So it's really good if you're just starting up your practice and you need to get patients. We do provide a CRM called WaveTrack that has some automations in there, but it's really focused on getting them into the practice. We don't go into a doctor's CRM and provide them the emails, but we will provide them the emails and texts they should be sending out to introduce this treatment to their patients.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because, in chiropractic, everybody knows those as reactivation campaigns. And a lot of times they do them after they've gone quiet for 6 months to a year, and they go and send an email giving a special offer to their inactive patients or active patients even. And the email blast them and say, hey, we're running a special to invite you back into the practice or something. And I think a lot of times when people get like a new way to help their patient base, they're going to email that out. And I think that's a really great approach for people to grow their practice with new tech, is to do the reactivation campaign, but not for just the chiropractic visit. Maybe you can, like you said, you could bundle that with the OmniWave treatment, and the patient feels, oh, wow, I haven't seen the doc in a while. I kind of have a cranky neck still, or my knees still give me a little issue. So then it gives them that much more effort to come back and say, I will become a new patient, or I will reactivate and become a patient and restart my program at the office again too. So I always tell people it's easier to make second money than first money. And if you have old files in your office, you should be using those to re-engage with. And email is probably one of the easiest things. And like you said, you do text campaigns for them also. So I think just reach out to the people that already know, like, and trust you, and invite them back in to try it out, right?
No, absolutely. And even like I've seen there's a chiropractor up in Ormond Beach, Florida, who gets patients in using a Facebook funnel, and he has a $17 knee treatment. And And he was telling me how much money he was doing, which was insane. And I went up there to go visit him. And in 2 hours, he had lined up 10 patients. And he was showing me how it works. They come in on a $17 knee treatment. And when they get out of pain, they sign up for a $3,600 package that includes sessions of knee decompression and additional OmniWaves. But I asked him, I'm like, why the knee? Why not the elbow? Why not other body parts? He's like, when you're in knee pain, what are your options? Like, what are your options if you don't do this now? And the options are you're going to go to the orthopedic surgeon and he's going to tell you you need a knee replacement. And, what Jason, his name's Dr. Jason Dunlap, what he was telling me was that people will pay anything to get out of there. And I saw I saw some crazy stories that day. And that really, he was actually one of the first chiropractors to invest in the machine. Chiropractors weren't really our target market when we started this, but I saw how well chiropractors do with it and how passionate they are about healing the body naturally. It's amazing. So, I'd like to call this the 3-minute treatment your orthopedic surgeon doesn't want you to know about. But I'd love to tell you a story of this woman who I met up there, and I think this is on our website or on our YouTube channel somewhere. We have the testimonial.
Yeah, please. I think everybody's curious to know what the real results are.
So this lady she's probably in her mid-50s, late 50s. She used to be in a wheelchair. She was in a wheelchair for 4 years. And her orthopedic surgeon told her she needed, that she needed to replace her knees. And she didn't want to replace her knees. And she came in to see Dr. Dunlap. And by the time I was in there, she was already on her 6th or 7th treatment. And she was walking. And she said, after a couple treatments, I was out of the wheelchair. A couple more treatments, I threw away the cane. And then she was telling me, crying, saying, you know what, I'm going to Europe with my daughter. I'm walking in Europe with my daughter next year. And this has completely changed my life. And, it's a crazy story. But then what's even crazier was later I found out that she went back to the ortho. She was walking and he's like, oh, what did you do? You must have had stem cells injected into your knees. And they did X-ray MRIs. They said that cartilage has actually grown back. And all she did was OmniWave, a series of OmniWave treatments along with the knee decompression.
So neurogenesis, new tissue formed, healed up the knee. It allows her to have better quality of life, saving her from the pills, potions, and lotions, saving her from the cut it out, drug it out, burn it out methods. And now she has her life back and things are better than ever.
Yep.
Really cool. And do you know how long she was debilitated in the wheelchair?
4 years.
Wow.
You see this, what's amazing, and I've been doing this, when we first got this technology, we got it about 18 months ago. This technology before on the old devices, the devices that are out there are a few that use that spark gap in water that are out there, but those devices are really big devices that come from Turkey. They're loud, they're painful. The patients don't want to start treatment. They don't want to finish treatment, but they will get results with those. They're just really painful. So what we did is we created something that's portable here in the US that you can bring people in. But once we got this into chiropractors, now they have a real business in a box too, because they can take our device out and bring in new patients. But the fact that it's comfortable is a game changer for chiros.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments. Ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR. Practice management simplified. The Chiro Speaking Company. Attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Yeah, I think that it's really cool that it's helping people, not causing more inflammatory response and pain. And, when people aren't feeling good, they don't want to have more pain. They want to have less pain. So it's really cool that it's less invasive.
Absolutely.
Let's go back in time a little bit and talk about the chiropractic students. I know that was one of the initial questions I wanted to ask you, but what advice would you give to a chiropractic student at this point?
Well, first of all, I think where society's going, like with chiropractic, I think chiropractic is going to be the future of healthcare because we are going, like you said, away from pills, potions, cut them open. We're going into more organic. So I think I would tell a chiropractic student, you're in the right place because all the other medicine is just like, okay, you have X, I'm going to give you a Y pill. Chiro, you're actually doing healing with your hands, but now we're getting into this world where technology is coming. But the other thing is when I have a son who just graduated from college, and it's like you just got to go out there and make it happen, stay present, stay optimistic, focus on your purpose. I mean, people will get out into the real world and they'll, like when you're a chiropractor and you get out into the real world, I know it's tough because chiros are not like, it's not like you graduate from medical school and you go and work at a hospital and insurance is sending you all these cases and you're just taking a paycheck. Chiros, you got to hustle and make it happen. And sometimes you have to be focused on your North Star, and that North Star, everybody has their own North Star. Like for me, my North Star, I love entrepreneurship. This is my third startup. I love helping doctors or practices or young business owners succeed, and I love working with technology that changes life. So that even if I wake up and I have a bad day, I focus on what gets me out of bed, because if you don't have a purpose, you're going to give up. And so the advice I would give to a chiropractor just getting out of school is focus on your purpose, focus on your why. And I assume that every chiropractor I met, their why is I'm helping change lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really believe that method and that message is really true. And I tell everybody to find some meaningful work and do it. And if it's not right for you, find something else that's good for you. Mm-hmm. But I think over time, the real commitment is to do something that you love. And chiropractic is based on the premise of give, love, serve, out of your own abundance, expecting nothing else in return. So if you just give, love, and serve, and you're in that method of life, and that's what you do, people are going to come back to you, and they're going to tell their friends and family about you. So I think that's really sound advice for a chiropractic student. Now, I know off camera when we were first getting started today, we were talking about mentor groups, and you said that you're a part of a group called Entrepreneur something. What is it?
So it's Entrepreneur Organization is the big mother group, but they pair you off in forums. The forum is made up of entrepreneurs with different businesses. So about 14 years ago, I was paired up with a group of 8 men that were entrepreneurs, and we learned from each other, and we do what's called experience share. And those have been my biggest mentors in life. But a story, and I think this is very important, and it is very difficult to share. One of those members took his life less than 2 years ago, very recent, and he was going through stuff that we weren't aware of, and he didn't share it, even though that's what the group was for. And what I learned from that, first of all, is like, if you have something going on in your life, you need to share it. You need to let people know what's going on. I do think it's important to have a community is important, to have a group study. Yeah, you could look at all the studies. Longevity is, like, if you look at longevity, it's completely correlated with how close are your few friends. It's not about having 2,000 friends on Facebook. I think that's BS. I think it's about having your core group of, a handful of friends and your family. And if you have that, you're good. But you need to share anything going on.
Yeah, I do believe, there's been a lot of hard times for people over the past 5 years specifically, and it is more important to have your great mentorship and coaching too. I think
Mhm.
every, I have a coach, and he has a coach, and
Mhm.
I'm sure his coach has a coach.
I have a coach. I've had coaches for 15 years. I've mentored young entrepreneurs. One of the things that we're passionate about with OmniWave is we do a 2-day boot camp to make sure that practice owners are set up for success. Because if you purchase our machine and you're not successful, it looks bad on us. And in fact, we actually are the only company that, if you're not successful within the first 60 days, we'll just take the machine back, because I don't want a practice owner to not be successful. But when we do that 2-day boot camp, one of those days we go deep dive into the business, and I share with them a lot of the playbooks that I've used to build big businesses, and then we bring in other very successful ex chiropractor. I mean, I'm sorry, ex practice owners who are chiropractors who have also built and sold 8-figure chiropractor businesses.
Yeah, I really believe that learning how to do the business is primary. And honestly, you doing that boot camp and teaching people business strategies, you can go across the board and ask any chiropractor, and they're going to tell you that they didn't get a good business tutelage in chiropractic school. And most people don't get much business acumen during school or as they get out of school. So it's one of those postgraduate things that you got to kind of like figure out on your own.
I think one of the things I kind of have talked to practice owners about, especially chiropractors and other practitioners, is when it's like our relationship with money. Because I'll talk to chiropractors who are scared to charge too much, and they're scared to ask for a big package, and they're like, well, I want to give stuff away for free. But then I'm going to challenge them. I mean, because I mean, well, there's a lot of ways I'm going to challenge them on, but there's one that really sticks out, because I'm going to say, look, if you're going to give away things for very low price, or no price, how are you going to grow your practice? And how are you going to invest in making your practice bigger? How are you going to invest in next generation technology to bring in the next wave of people? But then they were like, well, I still feel bad about doing that. But they said that, what's your purpose? And their purpose is like, I want to help people. And I asked them, how many people are you going to be helping if you go out of business?
Yeah, I believe that there's a lot of people out there that have zero training in business building, and it's more important for them to be liked than it is for them to be successful. So it's one of those things that it really has to be integrated at an early stage, that this is how you build a business, and don't ever give it away. And
Mhm.
you have to do a certain method in order to grow the practice. Otherwise, you're going to be the best healer out there that doesn't keep the doors open, which is a big shame. I do know the stats too. I know that it's the same as a small business failure. You were talking to me earlier about chiropractors being small businesses. Well, the chiropractor fails at the same rate as other small businesses too. 1 and 2 will not be around in 5 years. So we
Mhm.
have to find different money sectors and different income sectors for chiropractors to make a quality of life and a great earning out there. And I think that that's one of the big reasons I thought it'd be a great opportunity to team up with OmniWave as a sponsor for Chiro Hustle, because there is a money game there where you teach people how to go out there and to be prosperous and live in abundance.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
As we get down to the end of this, is there anything I didn't ask you that you like to share with our audience today?
I mean, I think you covered a lot. I mean, I think what I just want to share with the audience, because I'm not, it's funny because I know you have mostly chiropractors come on the show, and I'm not a chiropractor. And in fact, before I was doing OmniWave, I had started up a marketing company. Before that, did that, I had a big age management company. So we ran a practice that was helping keep people stay young and healthy doing hormone optimization. It was a very big practice, and we sold that a few years ago to a company called 10X Health. But it was a huge, huge practice. But I think that longevity is the place to be in. And one of the things just like thinking like a futurist, you want to be where everybody's going, and people are going to regenerative medicine, they're going to longevity, they're going to natural ways of healing. So if you're a chiropractor and you're just getting into the space, you're in the right space. And if you're a chiropractor that's trying to get to that next level of practice, there's a lot of help out there. And I think you guys, like, I really actually have learned to really, I respect so much the chiropractic industry, because I see you guys as being like these amazing healers, and I'm just super impressed.
Well, back to what you were saying earlier, if somebody goes into an orthopedic surgeon and they talk to them about what the method of correction for their condition is, they come from their toolbox. And I believe in a method. Why I've supported chiropractic for the past 17 years is because chiropractic is least invasive. And if we can get people better with hands-on approach rather than a more complicated approach that doesn't guarantee better quality of life, I think there's a lot to say about the element of quality of life quotient. And chiropractic profession provides that to people. Problem is that most people just think that chiropractors are for neck pain or back pain. And that's just a small segment of the chiropractic profession. Many of these chiropractors are helping people with a myriad of concerns. And I think a lot of it, hinging it onto what you're doing with OmniWave, there's joint health, there's chronic joint pain for so many people that are wasting their life away with Advil and anti-inflammatory meds, where it's ruining their organ system, their kidneys and their liver are being taxed, and it really doesn't do anything. It just masks the real symptoms. So it's really cool that you have technology out there that can help chiropractors heal more people and get them better faster, and save people from needless drugs and surgery. And it sounds like it's a pretty affordable thing for people to get into, and the product is self-explanatory when it comes to when people get results, they'll tell people about it.
Yeah, it's very easy. I've seen it work super well. Like if you're an integrative chiropractor and you're getting into the world of PRP or doing anything along the lines of any regenerative injectables, I've seen it work phenomenal there. And I've seen practices go from in the red to just super profitable. And, again, we're just here to help you guys. And thank you. I really appreciate being on your show.
Yeah, and if people want to learn more or connect with you further, where can we send them to?
Well, our website's called OmniWave.com. You can see testimonials from practices on our YouTube page, but just go to OmniWave.com. And then if you want to learn more, you can fill out some information and someone will give you a call. One of the things we do is we want to make sure you're the right fit for us. So we'll let you know right away what we think. And we look forward to talking to you guys soon.
All right, guys. So go to OmniWave.com. Go check out their YouTube channel. Mark White, thanks for being our guest today. It's been a real pleasure. Every time I connect with you, I learn more. And I think there's so much synergy when it comes to people getting better with your tech. And I think it pairs really well with the chiropractic adjustment. And I think the wave of the future is there's going to be more tech involved with the way people are today, because they're not getting healthier, they're getting sicker, and more people just don't know where to go or who to trust. And that's why I believe that chiropractic is in the path for more people adopting chiropractic into their lifestyle. And I think there's just so much synergy with OmniWave and chiropractic adjustments. So everybody, this is episode 748 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. And thank you for being on with us today, Dr. Mark White, almost doctor. Thanks for being our guest today, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, everybody, we're just one story away. Keep hustling. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.